Hi guys. Right, it is Sunday night, 9:38 p.m. on May the 24th, 2026, from Toogoom, Queensland, Australia. I thought I'd talk tonight about the mind of our children and protecting their innocence, beginning with whatever is allowed into the home and stopping what is veiled as entertainment. And we know, because we've learned over the decades, the infiltration into the corporate media, the subversive messages that have been used to corrupt the minds of our children. So I'll start with a message that I received today that confirms to me that I needed to make this video, something I'd been thinking about after I had a conversation with my oldest daughter yesterday. So I've changed the names in the message for obvious reasons. Hello, our beautiful Ash. Hope everyone is well and you're truly on the mend. And I'm so much better than be propolis. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, I went to the Maryborough show and I captured a human being dressed up as a bee outside of the honey pavilion and had an off-the-wall conversation with a beekeeper there. Anyway, that's all right. So I'm sending you a message I received from Mary on Friday at 8:39 a.m. when she woke up. She cannot remember the exact time she had the dream, but I'm sending what I received. So the message is, Mummy, I had a dream last night. The family and I were watching a movie with demonic presence, which I know we don't do. Then I saw writing on the neighbour's window. We're in Faye's house, so Faye is a family member. And it's writing, but by like the fog on glass, and it's in Russian, but I don't know what it says. Then we held hands. Stefan was there. Now, Stefan is the 5-year-old grandson in this scenario. And we started praying. You were crying, and I kept reminding that it's okay, Yah's got us, He'll protect us. Vanessa was carrying on like usual, saying that we were just being stupid and everything was fine. But you kept saying, no, I have a feeling inside, and we need to pray, but no one prayed with you except me. Then I woke up, just now, and I prayed against those kinds of dreams, because I don't watch those movies, and for Yahweh to fill my mind and heart, because I don't want those kinds of dreams either. Now, I would say there that Mary has been used several times to send messages to me about the dreams that she's been given, and they are prophetic. So if you have dreams like this, it's to be shared as a warning and an admonition, teaching, so that action can be taken to protect the mind of our children. Okay, so my daughter phoned yesterday and catching up with her week, always busy, super busy in the household. And the children involved at school and sport and training through the week. And just on the go all of the time. Now, my daughter doesn't allow them to have any kind of electronic media. They're not on computers or tablets or anything like that. They don't have phones. They are 10, oh no, it will be 10 in October, but so 9 and 12. My grandson 12 and my granddaughter 9. Now both of them are beautiful children. They always get marvellous reports from their teachers and things like that. And they're very kind with their friends and strangers. And my granddaughter has had to face and has overcome a number of fears that were wreaking havoc in the family. I noticed when she was very young that even the noise of the truck out in the street, she would just start quivering in fear. And she had a fear of dogs that was crippling the family. It was so bizarre. She's learned to overcome those. She's overcome her fear of being in the water and swimming as well. She's overcome speaking publicly in front of her classmates and all kinds of things. And she's being nominated to take care of new children coming into the class at the beginning of the year, which she takes very seriously. So now, my daughter had made it clear amongst her circle of friends, the mothers of, children in the classroom or mothers groups or whatever, that there's no games are allowed. They have, the children have a PlayStation, but what they're allowed to play is strictly limited. And my grandson's best friend, he gave to my grandson as a present for his birthday, the Minecraft game. Now, my daughter had made it really clear that wasn't acceptable before this. And she was dismayed that his friend would give this as a gift, knowing full well how my daughter felt about things, and they'd had conversations about it. And then my daughter realised later it's because Mum doesn't have any control over her son. My grandson ends up with Minecraft. Well, my grandson, being more mature and not as emotional, if you like, as his sister, 2.5 years younger than him, it became an obsession with her, allowed only on like a Friday afternoon after the end of the week to play the game. When my daughter noticed the change in my granddaughter, her focus on playing this game, and then what ended up in violence, an altercation, because my granddaughter didn't get her way over this game. With that, my daughter just removed it completely from them ever being able to play it again. And she also cancelled Netflix. Apparently there was some kind of children's program on there that she had a really bad feeling about where it was headed. So because of this altercation, and it resulted in a bite on my grandson's arm, totally out of character, but the change that, my daughter's going, hold on. All right, so she cancelled the Netflix, and she also cancelled Disney. So that only left ABC iView, and their favourite program to watch together as a family every week is Grand Designs, all about building houses and the plans for building houses. And the most current series, The Piano, just marvellous. Random people playing in public on the piano. Apparently my granddaughter's getting really good at picking up what she's learning at school and then coming home and being able to play. All right, so now the initial reaction which resulted in the violence, that emotional outburst all over this stupid game that Adam told me is entry level into the world of online gaming later, which is where all the child grooming takes place. So it gone and banished from the house. They all went for a walk with the dog, and my granddaughter got over what it was that, drove her in that instant. And then she became worried. Don't tell Daddy. She became worried of the consequences of what she knew to be her really bad behaviour. And she doesn't like to be in trouble. She has a very ordered mind, and she can work to a plan. She cannot be bribed over anything. It really is her way or no way. That's why working with her to overcome these fears that she has had for the last couple of years has been major goals for the family. Made life much more peaceable in the house. Now, so the message coming in today backs up my thinking that I should make a video about this. Now, when I lived in the USA and then Canada, and of course the children were all very small. The three girls were 5, 4 and just 15 months when we left Australia. And then Adam was born, as you know, in March 1991, and that was in Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. And I began, especially with the oldest one, as you always do, focusing all of your attention to communicate and speak and then teach and train up the child in the way that they should go. And in those very young years, and being in North America, the influence of whatever was popular at the time with the, first of all, Star Wars being released, and then E.T., or whichever one came first. Now, I was told, as the Christian praying mum, I was told that entry into the world came in with Star Wars, the Force be with you and all the rest of it, capturing the imagination and the mind of the child to now be focusing on a force, and you know what I'm talking about. Actually, I've never even watched Star Wars, but and I was told specifically that it entered the world with that movie. All right. So I would have my children listen through the old tape recording machines to the Adventures in Odyssey, produced by Focus on the Family, an American organization. 35 years old they are now. Well, my daughter signed up again. You can sign up online to Adventures in Odyssey, where they have an audio platform. You can listen to each one of their 1,000 episodes that used to be on that tape recording and into the machine as my children were growing up. And my daughter said that my grandson is now, he wasn't like 2 years ago, but now he wants to listen to Adventures in Odyssey before he goes to school each morning. And so she appreciates it now as he's matured. He's ready to listen and become immersed in Adventures in Odyssey, the main character being John Avery Whittaker, as Adam pointed out, is Yah. And we actually have a caricature of John Avery Whittaker. And he looks like Yah with the moustache out the beard. And Adam just says that's Yah. And he's in control of the imagination station, and he operates an ice cream parlor at Whit's End. In America, you're probably already familiar with Focus on the Family and Adventures in Odyssey. But for those of you who are mothers and grandmothers, aunts, or a really close member as a friend of the family community that are raising these young children, this is the alternative to the insanity of today's social media platforms and the degeneration into, as Adam pointed out, he said it's becoming like the Weimar Republic was. The debauchery, everything that the Weimar Republic became, everything was for sale. You could get anything in Berlin at that time. It was the degeneration, the decay and degeneration from the influence of artists and theatre and those in control not to mention the banking sector. But anyway, just go and look at how bad the Weimar Republic, and explains the rise then of National Socialism. All right, so Adventures in Odyssey, my children were raised on it. And I think it was Adam that reintroduced my daughter back to and said, here, go over here, you can join this for the children's sake. So my daughter did phone me back after telling me everything that she did, and she had, apparently they have books and puzzles and things too, which now can be the focus for my granddaughter. The mind, the way her mind works, she can now focus on spending time in the imagination station and Adventures in Odyssey. We'll take a look at it. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about, and I'll put the link for Adventures in Odyssey in the description box. And yes, protecting of the minds of our children, grandchildren, and doing all to keep them active and keep them learning. Let's read about, what are they all about? Okay, impact. So Adventures in Odyssey has aired since 1987 with more than 1,000 episodes, making it one of the longest running audio dramas in history. Gunsmoke, which holds the record for the most episodes of a weekly scripted TV series, released a mere 635 episodes. The radio show has led to the creation of 17 videos, more than 24 novels, plus video games, music albums and more. Over 1,000 original stories have been told in the world of Odyssey. So where did all these stories get their start? Well, we don't have to read it because I'm going to leave the link, but the town, Odyssey, a small town located somewhere in the American Midwest. But there's more to this sleepy burg than you could ever imagine. Imagination Station. Award-winning audio drama series for ages 8 to 12 and enjoyed by the whole family. So yes, it began as a ministry offering marriage and parenting advice over the radio. The founder and host of the radio program was Dr. James Dodson. And these are the cast of characters. So the adventures often start with grandfatherly Mr. Wit, who runs an ice cream shop called Wit's End. And that's wit in the middle. There and here. Eugene, Meltzner, one of his employees, and perky Connie Kendall. Yeah. Now, each of the episodes bring Christian and biblical principles to life. Just the right balance of fun, faith, and excitement. These aren't audio books. These are full-scale audio adventures portrayed by dynamic, professional actors who bring characters and their stories to life. Each episode uses music and sound effects to help listeners ignite their imaginations. All right, so that's what Odyssey is. So this is the alternative to the platforms out there today. An influence for good and God and the imagination, removing the AI that is so destructive in today's world. So, yeah. And with that, I think we have to go out listening to Yah sing something. So I will pause until I find the right song.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. no hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
An appropriate song, Imagine. What I wanted to share is that living in the USA, Canada, and then the USA for until the end of 1996, and then back into Canada again, that I didn't allow the children to watch even the Care Bears. I would explain to them the entry into our soul of, call them the archons if you like, if you don't want to call them demonic entities or whatever, but just waiting for an excuse to come in and corrupt the soul through the ears, the eyes, and of course the mouth, the three doors. And so I was teaching the children from a very young age about how important it is to protect those openings. And of course, with the adventures in Odyssey and the imagination station, bringing to life biblical stories and examples of what the scriptures are talking about, the truth principles of the scriptures. And so it was no go for the Care Bears, Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers. And Power Rangers, I remember listening to the radio that there was a child in Switzerland who had been kicked by another child in kindergarten wearing his Power Ranger shoes, and the child died. He kicked her in the temple or something like that, and she died. So these influences are meant to destroy and corrupt our children. And we're all now familiar with the rituals that go down, music that goes out and becomes popular overnight, and you know, the selling of the artist's soul for the sake of money and fame. And Pokemon was another one. I remember living in Canada, and Adam and I, the Pokemon cards that children traded at school, this kind of thing, we had a burning of them on the back deck in Canada on a baking tray, and we burned them, much like we still hold burnings in our backyard as we are directed to, and we did so last Saturday night it was. And yes, these things, as we have learned, and the lid is taken off, so much that has been covered over, veiled, and the world being in the state that it is, and the demoralization, degradation, and yeah. There's a reason for the rise then of what occurred in Germany throughout the 30s, and it had everything to do with the demoralization and degradation of the German society. So, with that, I'll say good night. And enjoyed your singing there. All right, later, Gators.